So today I'm going to be talking about meal planning like a pro. First, we want to just make sure that meal planning is made easier. Being a busy college student means that you have a lot of stress on you, your schedule's probably pretty loaded, and balancing school and life can be a lot. And there's a lack of education given to adults entering college on how to properly nourish themselves. So we're going to try to make it easy today. What you're learning is MyPlate recommendations and federal guidelines for what you should be actually consuming on a daily basis. You're also going to learn how to translate MyPlate guidelines into meal plans and grocery lists that are easy to follow and adjust from week to week. And you'll be discerning between diet culture trends and meal plans versus science-based nutritional advice when navigating social media platforms. It's important to remember that the more educated you are, the more equipped you'll be to make healthful decisions for your body and mind, which really only benefit you in the long run. So while it may seem unimportant at the moment, it really is important to establish those habits early on. So first, we're going to talk about MyPlate. MyPlate was formulated by the USDA in 2011. It includes guidelines and free tools or resources to help make meal planning easier. So the MyPlate website has a lot of additional resources and information that really helps supplement the nutritional education that you'll be getting from this PowerPoint. And they have a lot of great meal planning services and things like that on there that are really helpful. This is the image of the MyPlate that has been around since 2011. And you see half of the plate is fruits and vegetables, the other half is grains and protein, and then we've got the dairy as well. So when we're breaking it down, like I said, you want half the plate to be fruits or vegetables. Focus on whole fruits and varying your vegetables. For the grains portion, you want to make a quarter of your plate grains, with at least half of those grains being whole grains, which we'll get into some examples of that on the next slide. For protein, you want to make a fourth of your plate protein, half of the half, varying your routine and focusing on lean proteins. And for dairy, you want to drink low-fat or fat-free dairy milk and or yogurt, or lactose-free dairy or fortified soy versions. So you want to just kind of make sure that you're not getting extra saturated fats in the diet when it can be avoided. It's also important with those low-fat versions, though, to make sure that there aren't a bunch of additives. When you lower the fat of something, you're often kind of decreasing the palatability of that food. So they often put in fillers and sugars and things like that. So that's something to be aware of as well. So when meal planning for the week, it's most beneficial to be realistic about your time and money. When you just walk into the grocery store with no idea about how much you are willing to spend or how much time you have to meal prep, it can be really overwhelming. And using the template that we've created, it's a handout that will be available in the description of this video. You can write out your meal ideas and make sure that you're portioning out enough for the week and making sure that you're hitting all of the food groups. Some meals may be missing things, and that's totally okay, but you want to make sure that you're getting those missing components in other meals. Utilizing grocery store websites and adding things to your online cart can also help you stay under your budget. I find this is super helpful. Most grocery stores have websites now where you can just add things to your cart, add quantities, and it's just an estimate. Sometimes it'll be a little bit off, but it does give you an idea of kind of how much you should expect to spend or help you to figure out what you can buy. So when really breaking down the different kind of components of meals at the grocery store, for grains, you're going to want to be looking for whole grain bread, whole wheat pasta, whole wheat pita bread, wheat thins, Triscuits, oatmeal, granola bars, quinoa, brown rice. Those are going to be pretty nutritious options for the grains portion. For protein, chicken breast, turkey breast, tuna, salmon, tofu, edamame, nuts, legumes, beans, lentils, things like that. The plant-based sources, aside from tofu, are what are called incomplete proteins. So you're going to want to pair those with grains and other sources of incomplete proteins. They're called complement proteins, and this helps you get a complete protein in. That's just helps you to optimize the protein that you're intaking. For dairy, you're going to want to look for 1% dairy milk, soy milk, almond milk. Frozen yogurt is a great alternative to ice cream, Greek yogurt, low-fat cheese, whipped cream cheese, and cottage cheese. For fruits, purchasing seasonal fresh fruit is going to be the best way to go as far as fresh fruit goes. When it's in season, it's cheaper because it wasn't as difficult to produce. Bananas are always really cheap. Canned fruit, making sure that there's not a ton of added sugar in there. Dried fruit, 100% fruit juice, and frozen fruit are great options. For vegetables, once again, seasonal vegetables are going to be more budget friendly. Baby carrots are usually pretty cheap. Canned vegetables with low sodium are going to be good. And frozen vegetables and canned vegetables are also a great way to get vegetables in quickly. And as far as like raw vegetables go, pairing that with something like hummus or a low-fat dip is a great option as well. And then snacks are also really important. I think they're very underrated, and sometimes people can go a long time without eating and then they overeat at meals. So focusing on getting snacks that have protein and carbs is going to be ideal, as those will have lasting energy, or they will give you lasting energy. So when talking about social media and diet culture trends, social media is not a reliable source for nutrition information. There are a lot of creators out there that claim to have evidence-based results, or they give out false nutrition information. It is important to stay aware of the fact that many of those speaking about nutrition on your personal feed are likely not professionals. You may occasionally have some trendy dietitians and things like that. But for the most part, you're probably just seeing people that are in a similar situation to yourself and are just kind of talking off the cuff about nutrition, and that can actually be kind of dangerous. So when you're looking at what's going to be credible or reliable, credentialing is really important. Those who are trained in nutrition will be registered dietitian, nutritionists, or RDNs. Anyone can become a nutritionist without a proper education, so really looking for that registered dietitian piece is important. Even some other medical professionals like doctors or nurses may not be adequately equipped to give out nutrition advice. Nutrition is a very individual thing, and so if anybody's giving blanket nutrition advice, they're probably not going to be a credible source. So body checking, a lot of nutrition videos start with a video or picture known as body checking. This is an immediate red flag that the person who has created the video is associating their eating habits with a certain body type or body image and is marketing it. So it's kind of a subtle way to be like, this is what I eat and this is how to look like me, and it can be really damaging. Like I said, no one meal plan or diet regimen fits everyone, and no two bodies are supposed to look the same. For resources, if someone is creating a video without referencing absolutely anything credible, it's likely feeding into diet culture. Look for references in the caption or on the screen during the video. If these are missing, they are not doing the appropriate research before sending out a message about nutrition. And if something is trending, it's probably going to be associated with diet culture. If someone's promoting a trendy diet or exercise regimen, it's not going to be sustainable or healthy for the majority of people watching the video. There are so many diet trends out there, and they are always changing because a lot of them don't work. So to conclude, meal planning as a busy college student can be very overwhelming, but turning to social media for nutrition advice is not going to be the way to go. First, consult a dietitian if you're wanting to change your dietary habits. If you're simply looking to eat more at home and meet the recommendations for your age group and things like that per the USDA, use the information you've learned here and on their website to create nourishing meal plans. We have linked a handout in the description of the video called Your Plate that is a great starting point. Thank you very much.